You know that specific kind of quiet. It's late. You're sitting right next to them. Maybe you're scrolling. Maybe you're staring at the wall. They are 3 feet away. They feel like they're in another zip code. You can hear them breathing, but emotionally, they have left the building. And suddenly, a cold knot tightens in your stomach. Your brain starts firing off those fragmented, panic-induced thoughts. Did I do something wrong? Why do I feel so lonely when I'm with them? Is there someone else? Am I just not enough anymore? You start scanning for clues. The guarded phone, the vague answers, the sudden need for space that feels less like rest and more like escape. Here is the truth that mainstream dating advice won't tell you. The distance isn't happening because their love faded. It's happening because their safety did. You are not crazy for feeling this shift. You are not failing at love. This is not a sign that you chose the wrong person. Every couple navigating the anxious avoidant cycle has stood exactly where you are standing right now. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what avoidants do in secret when they feel trapped by closeness, why they seek multiple partners or distractions out of nervous system regulation rather than malice, and how to break the cycle without losing yourself. Let's get into it. Most couples believe that when a partner pulls away, keeps options open, or fragments their attention, it is a moral failing. We are taught to think that looking elsewhere means disrespect. But the real truth is much deeper and, frankly, much sadder. For the avoidant nervous system, intimacy does not just feel like love. At a certain threshold, it feels like engulfment. When safety leaves a relationship, the connection doesn't disappear. It goes underground. What looks like playing the field is usually someone who has been so overwhelmed by emotional fusion that they are desperately trying to reclaim a sense of self. Your partner's nervous system is reading you before their mind can catch up. When you lean in for reassurance, their alarm bells ring. I am losing myself, their body says. So, they create distance. But here is the critical part most people miss. Avoidants don't always create distance by leaving the room. Sometimes they create distance by inviting other people into the periphery of their life. This isn't about wanting more love. It's about diluting the intensity of your presence so they can finally breathe. What looks like secrecy is usually someone who has been so overstimulated that fragmentation is the only protection they have left. They aren't trying to hurt you. They're trying to survive the feeling of being consumed. Understanding this changes everything. You stop taking it personally. You start seeing it as a pattern you can actually navigate. 1. The micro-cheating of attention. Most people in relationships think infidelity is a binary switch. You are either faithful or you are not. But for the avoidant, loyalty is often maintained technically, while attention is fractured emotionally. Most couples miss this because it never looks like betrayal. It just looks like boredom. The deeper truth is that avoidants use low-stakes external validation to regulate their anxiety without having to engage in high-stakes emotional vulnerability with you. It becomes a safety valve. Imagine this. You ask them how their day was. They give you a flat, one-word answer. But later, you notice they've spent 40 minutes sliding into DMs or leaving comments under an ex's photos. In the disconnecting version, you confront them directly. You say, "Why are you giving them your energy when you ignore me?" Their walls go up instantly. They feel controlled. They withdraw further. In the connecting version, you recognize the dynamic beneath the surface. You realize their nervous system is chasing dopamine hits precisely because they carry zero expectation of real intimacy. You don't attack the habit. You address the hunger. You say, "I notice you're really engaged online lately. I miss turning toward you like that. Can we put the phones away and just talk for 20 minutes?" And when you do that, the walls between you start to come down without either of you having to say a word. 2. The phantom X loop. Here's the part no one talks about. Most couples believe that when an avoidant romanticizes a past partner, they are secretly in love with them. But the real psychological truth is that the phantom X is a tool for emotional deactivation. By keeping an idealized memory alive in their head, the avoidant creates a permanent buffer against full vulnerability with you. It is not about the X at all. It is about the safety the distance provides. Think about it. An ex who is gone cannot ask you to show up today. They cannot cry when you are exhausted. They cannot demand repair. They are safe because they are absent. So when your partner says, "My old relationship just had so much more independence," your brain hears rejection. But what's actually moving through them is, "I am terrified that if I let you all the way in, I will drown. So I will keep this memory around to prove I still have an exit." Not louder conversations, not more compromising, not scheduling weekly check-ins, but two people who actually feel secure enough to be honest about their fear of merging for the first time. When you stop competing with a ghost and start addressing the unspoken longing for autonomy, your partner stops feeling trapped and starts feeling chosen again. 3. The Orbiter Collection. This is where it gets really interesting. Most people in relationships assume that keeping backup admirers or casual flirts is purely about ego, and sometimes it is. But for the avoidant, maintaining a roster of orbiters is usually a subconscious insurance policy against dependency. The deeper truth is that this isn't about wanting to actually date them. It is about proving to themselves that they remain free and desirable. It preserves their nervous system equilibrium. It whispers to them, "I am not locked down. I am still autonomous." Let's look at a real scenario. Your partner mentions a friend hit on them at a bar, and they casually say, "I'll probably grab coffee sometime," with zero real intention. In the disconnecting version, you panic. You say, "Why did you leave that door open? Are you keeping them on the hook just in case we fall apart?" You sound accusatory. They feel judged. They drift further. But here's what nobody explains. The avoidant needs to feel emotionally available without feeling owned. In the connecting version, you validate their worth while anchoring your bond. You say, "Honestly, it makes sense you'd want to keep your options open if you're feeling pressured. But I want you to know I choose you daily. Not because I have to, because I want to. How can I make our connection feel like freedom instead of a cage?" That's when your partner stops feeling like a project to fix and starts feeling like a person to come home to. 4. The secret comparison game. Most couples believe that sudden criticism in a relationship comes from anger, but for the avoidant, hypercriticism is often a covert strategy to manufacture emotional distance. The psychological truth is brutally simple. It is incredibly hard to pull away from someone you deeply admire. It is very easy to pull away from someone who constantly annoys you. So, the avoidant subconsciously amplifies your flaws. They fixate on your habits, your tone, your routines. They aren't trying to be cruel. They are trying to lower their own attachment temperature. Her brain is quietly registering, "If I focus on how messy he is, I don't have to face how much I actually need him." Let's contrast this. The disconnecting response is immediate defensiveness. You say, "You're so critical. Nothing I do is ever good enough for you." This just confirms their bias that you are too demanding, giving them permission to retreat into silence. The connecting response is curiosity about the cycle, not the content. You say, "I notice you've been really focused on my little habits lately. It feels like you're trying to push me away. Are you feeling overwhelmed by us right now?" And when you do that, the secret game loses its power completely. Because you have named the dynamic out loud, you have brought the unspoken fear of closeness into the light, where it can be met with presence instead of punishment. 5. The digital double life. Not secretive affairs, not hidden finances, but a carefully curated online persona that lives completely separate from their relationship reality. Most people in relationships scroll past this without a second thought. They tell themselves it's just harmless posting. But the deeper truth is that this digital identity is often the ideal self the avoidant feels they surrendered when they committed. In the relationship, they carry weight. They are a partner, a roommate, a provider. Roles that feel heavy. Online, they are detached, admired, and completely unburdened. They are splitting their identity to survive. One part is here with you, carrying responsibility. The other part is there, feeling light and free. Here's what changes everything. This isn't narcissism, it is quiet grief. They are mourning the loss of their independent self, so instead of shaming their screen time, you invite that part of them back into your shared life. Don't say, "You're always on your phone," instead of being here. Say, "I really miss the person who lights up talking about their own passions. I feel like that energy went underground when we got serious. How can we make room for that version of you inside of us?" This isn't a communication hack. This is just what two emotionally mature people naturally do when they decide to love without erasing each other. That's the shift that turns a relationship that feels like a constant negotiation into one that finally feels like a true refuge. This isn't a checklist. It is an invitation to show up differently, and that changes everything about what is possible between you and the person you chose. When you internalize this, you stop reacting to the symptoms and start responding to the nervous system patterns driving them. Your partner will feel the shift before you even speak. They will feel the pressure lift off their chest, and when that pressure lifts, curiosity returns, and when curiosity returns, the real work of repair finally begins. These aren't just tips for a better relationship. They are the beginning of becoming the kind of partner you always wanted someone to be for you. The relationship you want starts the moment you stop waiting for it to get better and decide to become the safety it needs. If this resonated with you, if you felt that quiet click of recognition, hit that like button so this message finds the people who are silently struggling in the exact same room. Subscribe if you want to keep building a connection that actually lasts. Tell me in the comments which of these 5 patterns you have seen in your own relationship. Let's talk about it below, without judgment, just truth. I will see you in the next one.